Welcome to One More Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Now, today we are going to continue explore horse-centric concepts, but today we're going to start with some actions. Um, okay, so before we talk about horse, different types of horses, species, even color of horse, today's character 迟 is what horses do, gallop. So how Chinese express galloping? We have horse on the left side, so we know it's a horse-related movement. And then the right side, you can see simplified traditional. The difference is how complicated the horse is rendered. In traditional, we still keep the four hooves or four legs of the horses and its mane. Draw out, kind of similar to 2000 years ago's dictionary rendering, but it's more rectangularized, right? But okay, the right side pronounced as ye. In today's Chinese use, ye means also, means like it become an abstract word. It's almost equivalent to English in addition to, like I do that too. In French, it's aussi, all right? So it become an abstract thing. However, okay, when we check the 2000 years ago's rendering, according to some scholars, this described female genital. I mean, if you look at it, probably looks like that. And I mean, there is no shaming. Like in Chinese, I would imagine ancient Chinese, we don't associate our sex organs as anything that's untalkable, describable thing. It actually created a very important concept for Chinese that Chinese use this female um, reproductive organ to signify the land, actually the vast piece of land. And only, I think, recently, by reading Emily Dickinson's poem, when she, as a female author, way ahead of her time, and according to ChatGPT, actually, she is outside of time because it's timeless. Her thoughts about how things that appear strong actually comes and go. It's more associated with male energy or yang. It's the long-lasting, sometimes unnoticeable forces. Sometimes it's quiet. Things like the mountains, the land, are female gendered, are yin energy. Those almost like unnoticeable, neglectable, but actually those are the long-lasting forces. And I checked actually mountain this character in many language that got gender assignment to it. Majority of them assign it to female gender. So in that sense, it's almost universal that across cultures, with a few exceptions, land or mountain, where society, either as a hunter-gatherer that you pick from the nature, or agrarian society that you grow from nature, use of land, those are life resources we cannot sustain without food, right? So this it's associated with life, with passing down your genes, and this corresponds to female energy because they are the ones who carry on to give birth, right? So it's reasonable for different cultures to associate the land with female. So there we go. We have this big piece of land on the right side. We have the horse. So what do you expect horse to do in that environment? They're going to gallop. They're going to run happily. Um, I do, when I'm on my bikes, pass a few horse ranches. Of course, it's not. It's in the city, so it's not like a vast piece of land, but you can see horses, even in their ranches. A lot of times they are, with harness bind to a pole or something. But if they do get a ground, they do have their own space, with or without humans, riders next to them, they are going to be happily galloping. and I guess provide a horse and a space. That's what most likely they do. 风驰电掣. Okay, talked about this one a while back. It talks about speed. So in ancient society, before we invent rocket or bullet, the wind speed or lightning speed, just like in English, we still use lightning speed, right? Are the benchmark of the speediest things humans can experience. And so we use that as in our language to mark down something as speedy, that we can compare it to wind, as if a wind is galloping. And so wind galloping depends on how windy it is, right? It can range and go up to some crazy kind of a driving speed even. So that to ancient society before the invention of engines or cars, right? That's really speedy. And 电车 lightning and 车 I translate it as whip, as if somebody is whipping the lightning through the sky. And that's the kind of speed we are talking about. All right, 驰名中外, 驰 Gallop fame. That means the fame arrived before the person, right? It's famous. It's spread out. And 中外 means domestic and abroad. So it talks about you have this domestic fame and even internationally famous. So when we say 驰名中外, oftentimes it's associated with a brand. So actually, can you imagine some brand names that are 驰名中外, that globally known? Well, recent one is DeepSeek, right? And BYD, something like that, and Alibaba. So these big brand names that made it in the international marketplace, then that can be said as a 驰名中外. 心驰神往. So now we have the heart and we have the soul. Chinese pair heart and soul together as well. And then we pair it with a particular action word. One is gallop, the other one, wang, means going toward. So that means your heart and soul is galloping toward something. That means you're so, you want something so much. It's a desire, like you desire something so much that as if your heart and soul are galloping toward it. I feel that's a very vivid language expression to show human emotions with horse actions. All right, so here is some galloping actions by horses, and the speed. I guess you can tell by how anti-gravity the manes of the horse are on the back of it. If it's horizontal, that means it's faster, right? So definitely these horses are galloping happily out there. All right, 驰, thank you for your time. See you another day.